I want to be clear right off the bat. The title of this is not clickbait. Like, it's not an exaggeration. It's not a lie. I'm serious. I wish it was a joke, but it's not. Hey guys, what up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Justin, and I hope you're doing well today. Welcome back to Chill and Chat, episode 2. Again, Chill and Chat is a random series that I created because I wanted to not only open a space where we can connect just a little bit deeper than these kind of standard YouTube videos, but I wanted to pull back to, I guess, the YouTube that made me happy when I was younger, that wasn't super like overproduced, and it just felt a little bit more personable. So here we are. There's a lot that I want to share, and I just often didn't know how to make it into a regular video. So this is the solution to that problem. So yeah, like, call it what you will. Perhaps this is my quarter life crisis, though I am not technically at the age of a quarter life crisis. That may be what this is. The title of this video is not a lie at all. I am changing my major. I am quitting my job as a software engineer, and I am going to South Korea. Ta-ta-da. So I think this all was like a long time coming, and the beginning of this year was real rough. The end of the year, still banging. We're still going strong, but the beginning of this year was really rough. And I think that this was the tipping point to all the change that came thereafter. So I had talked about in my 2021 year review video, which I love doing those. I love being able to look back on the entire year kind of like in the moment. I talked about how 2021 was interesting. 2022 is going to be a great year, and there's so many things to look forward to. Well, the beginning of 2022 was freaking nuts. Okay. Like, nothing went to plan at all. I literally like started the year with Miss Roni Rona. And like, it just was a crazy beginning of the year, and it was a lot to process. I mean, that was just one piece of it, and the rest I preferred to just leave out. So once I got to that massive tipping point, which I'm telling you was like a massive tipping point, I started to just take like a ton of steps back. And I think for the first time in a really, really, really long time, I started to evaluate not what I was doing with my life, not what I was doing in my life, but whether what I was doing in my life was actually making me happy, and if I was kind of shying away from the things that I wanted to do ever since I was younger, for be it safety or security or heck, anxiety. It was just a lot of realizations and trying to come to terms with where I'm at currently in my life, which I'm grateful for. I want to throw that out there. I'm so grateful for the things that I've been able to do, all the things that I've accomplished, like where I'm at in my life right now. I never would have thought I would have been at. I did not set myself up to be at the spot that I'm at throughout the first, when did I graduate high school? 17. So we're going to say for the first like 18 years of my life, I did not set myself up to be where I'm at right now. At all. Literally at all. So I'm grateful for it, and it's crazy. But when I was finishing out high school, I was setting myself up to like really embrace creativity and freedom and all of that. And then I think I kind of started to shy away from that, not because it didn't work out. I never tried it. I think I just did it for security, for the sake of like making not only current Justin, but young Justin very comfortable, and being able to kind of take advantage of, I guess, the time that I had while I was young. It's that, though, the take advantage of the time when you're young, that I think I kind of flipped on its head a little bit. Whereas like when I was in high school, I started working. I mean, I had odd jobs and then I had normal jobs. And then from there, I just kind of took off on a runway, and I never stopped running until like now, working multiple jobs and then taking the gap year, starting school later, and then busting booty once I got to college, which, again, a note on college, I was never supposed to go. like I didn't set myself up to go to college. I totally told myself I wouldn't make it in college. I'm not smart enough. By the end of my high school, I mean, my grades were garbage. I didn't take like any courses that provided any benefit to any college. So like, yeah, I was done. I don't know how I got to the spot that I'm at, but like kind of taking a breath after finally hitting again that breaking point, I realized, hey, the life that you're living right now is really cool, but I don't think it's the life that you exactly want to be living. So some of the things that I started to get kind of like, I guess, really in my head about was like, when I graduated high school, everybody else went away to college. I took that gap year. I worked, again, multiple jobs. And when I started college, I went online. So my opportunities to meet people were very slim. And as the people from my high school started to make new connections and make new friends, the connections that I were making were professional ones. Every single person that I met was kind of more just like, hey, this cool person, they know my name now. Maybe it would help to get me a job someday. And I never, like, aside from my coworkers, who I do truly adore dearly, I never really made new peer connections often. And then I just worked myself to the bone. And I'm grateful for all of that because it really did pay off, both literally and figuratively. But I think after working so many years, like, to the next job, I started to just kind of be like, what is the next step? Like, I made the thing. I got the development job. I did the thing that I set out to do this entire time. Why is it still not like filling this void? And I think I did put too much weight on my professional career and how that would make me look. But it was exactly that. I started looking, I think, more for external validation rather than internal, and now I'm shifting to that internal. So all of this plays together. My job, my college, and me going abroad all plays together in one giant mess pot of why all of this change is happening at once. And I want to talk about it because crud. First off, I need to be able to look back on it. Second, I need to get it off my chest. And third, if you yourself may be in a major that you don't like, or you may be working a job that you don't like, or you're terrified to take trips, maybe this will help in some way. And obviously, again, like, not everybody is in the spot to be able to do any of these things. So I fully recognize that. And I feel really lucky and grateful to be again in the spot that I'm at, being able to kind of take the reins on my decisions and had set myself up in the spot that I'm at. I just feel really lucky. So yeah, let's jump into it. I'm going to break this down into the 3 sections of college and my job and then going abroad. So like I said in the other video, these are very chill. There's nothing flashy. So I totally recommend, like, get some coffee or a nice, like, warm beverage if it's cold in your area. And then I always have a plushie on me. Today's Koya. So yeah, get a plushie. We're going to chill and chat. Let's roll it. So like I said, I took a gap year and I made a video about my gap year while I was in it, or coming to a close of it, I think near the end. Gap year, still best decision that I made probably in my entire life. Yeah, I entered college really on a whim, and it's not even an exaggeration. Like, I literally applied, had a free application, and when I got accepted, I was like, well, I guess we're going. Like, that was it. I'm not joking when I say that was it. But choosing my major was like a really quick thing. I didn't do much research, which is bad, and I know that now, but I didn't do much research really into what I wanted to study. I just used kind of my past experiences to formulate my guess. So when I was younger, I was a really, really, really weird kid, which you can probably tell just by this video alone. But I would spend like way too long on this software called Scratch, which was like a visual programming language, building ridiculous video games. And then I moved eventually from Scratch to other platforms, and I literally spent so much time doing random video effects and building games, making 3D models that were absolutely terrible, like so many different things. And then I would also try to like work with electric component things and make stuff happen in my house with them. Like, really weird kid. So when I had first tried to go for college, because the gap year wasn't just an immediate decision, I did dip my toes into like, okay, what is college and what can it offer me? At that point, I said I wanted to go for like game development because that's what I enjoyed when I was younger. And that was the thing that I had kind of set out, okay, I want to pursue something along the lines of this. Something along the lines is really key here. So I went to my college and they were like, oh yeah, you want to go for computer science. And I was like, okay. So I sat through the information session, walked up to the dude who was like, I guess the head of the computer science department there. And I was like, I want to build games. Do I belong here? And he was like, yeah, kind of attitude-y. Yeah, everything in tech goes through computer science, so you're gonna want to be here. And I was like, okay, well, when do I take game courses? Like, how do I apply what I'm learning here into game stuff? And he's like, we don't have game courses, but like you'll learn the basis of how to make them. And I was like, none of this sounds secure enough for me. And my mind was so narrowed to like what Scratch offered that I was like, I'm not gonna be able to sit through your course and then apply it elsewhere. I probably could have. You know, in hindsight, they say hindsight's 20/20. So I probably could have, but I didn't take the chance on it, and I was too nervous. And then all of a sudden, before I was starting that college, I was switched into like liberal arts or something, and I had like film courses. I don't know how any of that happened. I like filmmaking and stuff, but like that's not what I wanted to go for. Gap year went in. Then I ended up back to computer science still because of that. I think I was just like, well, they said that, so this must be the one that I go for. And then I did a semester of it and changed my major to computer information systems because I looked at the degree plan and it included more coding. Ta-da! And I was right. That was a great decision. And then when I transferred to my 4-year, I went back to computer science. So I've been in that major now for about 2 years, which is really crazy to think about. And I think that I kind of reached this point in my major where I took a step back and I was like, what courses have I enjoyed? And what courses do I have upcoming that I'm looking forward to? Which I think is a really important step to take when you're not only beginning your major, but maybe in the middle of it and towards the end of it. Changing your major can be tough depending on the college. Luckily, mine is really flexible, so this wasn't too big of a evaluation to take at that point. But I looked at my past courses, and the only ones that I really enjoyed taking was like physics, because that stuff was actually really fun. But then I took like web systems development, and I took game design and development. And those were like the only 3 courses that I like actually enjoyed. And I was like, okay, well, web systems development was an IT course, game design development was an arts course, and then physics is a physics course. So I was like, okay, hold on. You didn't like any computer science courses. What ones do I have upcoming? I literally had, and it currently stands, discrete math, operating systems, computer architecture, and like our final capstone, which could be either you have to find somebody and then you could build a cool project, or you take this software engineering course where they walk you through everything of like analyzing your algorithms and building database diagrams and stuff, which I already do. I don't need like a course to cap that off for me. Or you could take theory of computation, which I knew I didn't want to take because I didn't like discrete math. When I looked at these upcoming courses, I was kind of discouraged because it felt like there was nothing to look forward to kind of like push forward through, even if I didn't like the courses. Oh, well, you have this one coming up. That there was none of that. Like I had no courses that I was like, this is going to be a fun one. Can't wait to get to that. And I think with the trend throughout this entire video, when I took a step back and I was like, well, why are you doing this? What's the point of the major? Because I also work in software development and have been for 2 years. I was like, you don't even really need to finish the bachelor's. Like, why are you doing this? What is the point? I was like, well, I got into this because I wanted to build cool stuff. Am I building cool stuff with this? No, because computer science, though everybody tries to put you through the pipeline of it when you go to college and you say that you want to do anything in tech, it is computer science. It's not, software development. It's not software engineering. Again, speaking for my own curriculum, but my curriculum was straight up computer science. Like, you are good to transfer to that master's in computer science, maybe do a PhD one day if you want to. It's not development heavy at all. So when I kind of made this realization, I got a little bugged out, so to say, and I was like, oh my god, like this isn't. And I made so many changes over the past 2 years. Specifically, I didn't make any changes when I was at my community college and I did computer information systems. I was so content because it was so development heavy. You weren't focusing on a lot of the underlying stuff. It was very much like, let's make you a coder, and I loved that so much. We got to do awesome projects. It was amazing. When I was in this one, I got really bugged and I literally changed my major so many times. Why did all those changes occur? Because I wasn't happy in my major. Like, I just kept walking myself down this path and I didn't take the step back and realize, boyo, you're not liking your degree. I finally had that realization like a month ago, and I was like, I want to build cool things. I did the associates. You know, that's my heart of like almost having that computer science knowledge. That's the typical one that I can bank on. And then I have my software development experience to fall back on. Right now, if I'm going for a bachelor's, I want to get a bachelor's and I want it to be in like cool stuff. So I built a degree that I'm calling Immersive Application Development. That's kind of like, I think other colleges do actually have this degree. It's a little rough to find them, but they might call it something like immersive design or immersive development. I think some might call it too, maybe like multimedia development or design, something like that. So I called my major that I created Immersive Application Development. And this created thing I know sounds like really jank. It's just how my college works. You go for specific degrees and they have specific requirements, and then you can create your own concentration, which you like piece together a bunch of courses for, and then you have to justify every single one of them and how they like work in together to support your professional goals or like the actual curriculum that you might be targeting. So for me and my professional goals that I had told them, I had to combine comfortably and logically tech courses with like digital arts courses. The curriculum that I came up with makes my heart sing. It is like a perfect set for me. It's a very project heavy major now. Like, I'm going to have projects coming out of every single course basically during every single semester, which I only have 2 to go. That just makes me so happy because that's why I got into this. I want to make cool stuff. I don't want to sit down and be frustrated at discrete math. Honestly, I'm finishing out now for like self gratification, like showing myself that I could do it, just because I really didn't think I would, and I never set myself up to. So I changed my major. I'm going to talk about the computer science major in a future video as well, because I think that a lot of people end up in computer science and they don't want to be, and kind of talk about the options that you might have from there that you can choose. But yeah, that's my new major, and I'm so excited to make videos about that major too, because I think it's just so interesting and I don't see a lot on YouTube about it. So that. All right, the more controversial one is me leaving my software engineering job. The tech space has been booming, obviously. Like, that's not, I didn't just say something like prolific. Like, we all know that. Tech, it's an industry that has so many jobs and so many people are trying to get into it in so many different ways. It's been glorified to the holy heck. Like, like the aesthetics that I've seen come out of tech makes me laugh. That's not really tech. Tech is a crazy industry to work in. It's super cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking crap about tech at all. I love the tech space, and it's definitely the industry that I want to continue to grow in. But I think it's important to talk about how hard it is to start in tech, because it's not just go to a boot camp. It's not just do a few projects. Whenever you land that first job, you're going to be losing your mind. And nobody seemed to talk about that. Like, it's not like, la-di-da-di-da, I know everything because I studied. No. Oh my God, you know like nothing. It's like your studies and what you know is like a fever dream when you start. I swear to goodness, like I was so lost in the mix. But we really fail to talk about how quick tech grows and how much it changes and how much you need to learn and continue to learn. It's such a field for quick burnout because the stuff isn't quick to learn. And once you learn it, you have something else that you need to start to catch up to learn, or there's some new thing that's being incorporated everywhere that you got to keep up with. Like, there's so many different things that you just have to keep going with. Nobody talks about that whole back end of it. See what I did there? back end of it. Nobody talks about that though. So I worked as a web applications developer, and the web space is really interesting, right? Because it's the one that I think is used the most now. Like software you don't download anymore unless it's something that really needs to be able to use like a lot from your computer. Everything is web-based. So it's a really exciting spot to work in tech because you could be doing so many different things until you realize that everything that you're doing is just CRUD-based operations. And then you're like, well, maybe this isn't as exciting as I thought. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the web space as well, and I would love to work in it again at some point. But I think it got to a point where like it was still running off of all those odd jobs and past jobs that I had, where it was very just like do this thing to get the money, and I wasn't enjoying my work or the industry specifically, I guess, that I worked for as much. So it's nothing against them. It's nothing against the industry. It's nothing against my specific company. I think I just need to take this jump for myself to see what I like and what I don't like, which is the beauty of all these things, right? When you're in a major, when you're in a new job, you get to go into that space and say, hey, I know I like doing these things, and I know I don't really like doing these things. Or it could be the extremes. I love doing this, and I hate doing this and never want to do it again. And I was able to realize a lot through this job of things that I really liked and things that I didn't like doing as much. And I think that data honestly gives me so much to work off of what I'll want to do kind of in the future, depending on where I go, which is completely uncertain. I have no specific set of employment, so who knows where it'll end up. But yeah, I think, I mean, you don't hear people leaving software engineering a lot, like a complete removal. You'll hear them going maybe from job to job, but like I don't have another software development job lined up. I'm really taking a step back and trying to evaluate what I want to do. So here's the big one, and I'm not fully processing this yet either, but coming up soon, I am taking a trip to South Korea. This is like my first time ever going abroad, aside from Canada, but this is like big trip, and I'll be there for an entire month. So that's craziness. This trip happened on a whim. I literally booked it one day, one random Sunday. And that changed everything. And I'm not even going there for like a super specific purpose. I'm literally going there kind of just as a tourist. Like I'm just going there to immerse myself in the culture and, you know, kind of take a deep breath and hopefully level back out and enjoy life again, because my gosh, I have been going crazy lately. But yeah, I'm going to South Korea for an entire month. And I'm going to be vlogging all of it, so if things like that interest you, you should totally hit that subscribe button. Make sure you stick around because those vlogs will be coming very, very soon. And I'm honestly stressed about a lot of it, not only, you know, for the legitimate things of like entry requirements and making sure that everything's set and hoping that my Airbnb pulls through, but also just like really sad to be leaving my puppy for a month, which is such a minor thing. And then the other thing too is like I have college still while I'm there, so I want to make sure that all of that's set. But yeah, I won't have a job going there, so I'm literally just getting to go and really take a breath for a second, which is probably the first time in, gosh, what, 6 years that I'm gonna be able to just take a breath, and I'm looking forward to that. Overall, I'm very, very excited. I'm just stressed about all the stuff leading up to it. And yeah, I'm really freaking excited though. Like I'm so excited to try all the food in the world and all the drinks and see all the different places. I made like a list, and there are so many museums that I want to check out and like different stores and the shopping. I'm so excited for so many different things of it. Seriously cannot believe that I'm actually doing it. Taking a trip like this has always kind of been like lurking in the background, and at one point I actually did book a trip to Japan for, I think it was like a week or two, and that was crazy. That ended up getting canceled because of Miss Roni Rona. The fact that this is booked and happening, I don't think is gonna hit until I'm there, because none of the other ones ever came to like fruition. Like this is the first one that really is happening, so it's super duper crazy. Susan will also be joining along for the trip, so she'll be in the vlogs as well. You guys have seen her in the other vlogs, like the Otakon one that we just did. We're both super excited. We're getting things all set and ready. I have so much to pack for, and there's so much change happening in my life right now. And I'm not good with change, but all of it, I think, is good change. I'm hoping that I'll be able to find a way to process it better, and I'm just looking forward to, I guess, what the future can hold at this point. Like, the possibilities are endless, and I love that saying of, like, your life begins at the end of your comfort zone. I think this might be that for me. So that's kind of it. That wraps up all these updates, y'all. It's gonna be a crazy ride. Who knows where it's gonna go? My channel just took a massive turn because now it went from security to uncertainty really fast. so yeah, stick around for all of that. And then in the future, like I said, so there's vlogs coming up for Korea, of course, and then just regular vlogs. I'm gonna be talking more about leaving the tech space, entering the tech space, computer science, different majors, my major, working on projects, and then a few passion projects of mine is going to be the series that I had mentioned, which is how I've kind of identified and coped with a lot of the things in my life. That'll be coming out. It's like a 6-part series, and then a tiny short film that I'm working on for possibly a course, but if not, just for myself. So a lot of different content coming up. My channel is going to take not really a shift, but I guess a slight shift, which is a-okay by me, because I want to get back to the roots of what YouTube used to be, which was just a fun space to share things and not such a business. So, alrighty, let's wrap this up here. I hope you all stay well and make sure you keep hydrated. And I will talk to you guys when I'm preparing for Korea, I think, is the next video. So stay well and goodbye.